Hi guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. In this episode we're going to look at an ace tanker game in the M103. But it's not a massively brilliant game, it's a really strong game, and I'll show you some good stuff. But the reason I'll put this up is because I used a really sneaky tactic that you can only use in some given situations. In this game it really worked, and I thought I would just make this video to show you that and show you also good platoon progress from me and some of the boys at What Uni, Sir Havoc. Above all else, it's just to show you some of the really good moments I had in this game and what you can expect if you come up to play the M103. I haven't got the top gun in this tank, so it's sometimes a bit difficult in the tier 10 matches. As you know, I've not got a lot of experience in these top tier American heavies, so let's see how it goes. So here we are on all the light tankers' favourite map, and as you can see the teams are not entirely balanced. They've got one extra tier 10 heavy than us, and then they've got some pretty nifty top tier tank destroyers. Their two tier 9 heavies are also both heavier than our teams are. So I didn't mess no time here. I went straight for my gold ammo. I carry 6 shells in this tank, and my plan was just to get forwards, make them first 6 shots count on whatever tank I'm up against, make a dent in the enemy team, and go back to standard where I'm going to have a bit more time to start picking my shots. Now there's times in this replay where you've got to look at what's going on. There's an abundance of us going to the hill here, and in actual fact some of the guys turn around, thank God, because we would have been light elsewhere. The E5's now turned round, and I do believe the IS-7 turns round as well. But there's 3 of us here. We've got Longinus in the Centurion 7-1, and we've got Old Stoned Smokey in his IS-8. Now if we stop here, you can see the Jagdpanzer E100 has been spotted on the road there, but the LTTB has got all the way forward. He's looking down the road and nothing's coming. Now instantly I give Longinus a command on a tactic I've told him about, where we go straight across and go down the road that runs parallel with the one where the enemies are coming up. Because a lot of people don't know there's a little slope there you can actually get over and go in behind the enemy force coming up the hill. Now Longinus plays light tanks for me, and it's a tactic I often use in the light tanks to get into the artillery quite early on. Now he's proxy spotting them guys now, and we've made a decision that we're going to commit down that path. Now the timing's good. He's proxy spotted the T-57 heavy, and I'm already seeing most of the enemy team's real heavy tanks are down on the roads below us, not on this road we're up here, which is a lovely opportunity for us to get in behind these guys and do a lot of damage. Now the T-57's already fired 1 shot, I've counted that. He's got 3 more in the barrel. So we need to get him to commit at least 1 more of them shots before we go over, so we don't take too much damage. I'll tell the lads I'm going to move forwards, and what I do is I do a feigned push, then pull back. He'd get the deflection, and now he's got 2 shots he can hit us with, and he's ours. There comes Smokey. What this has done now is it's forced them to turn around and face us. So dividing the number of tanks myself and my platoon and the guys at the top of the hill have to face by half each. Now I didn't want to poke myself round to hit that T-57, although it would have been handy to take him out of the match, because I didn't want to expose too much of my tanks. There was 2 more tanks looking at me there. I feel quite comfortable we can use this bit of terrain here and use our guns to good effect. So we've come over that heat there, and a lot of people don't know you can do that. So look at it now, look where it is. You can come straight over that. If you're in a light tank, you've then got the choice to turn left and shoot the stuff going up the hill, or turn right and go straight down into the arty and start harassing the city. Now watch me make my shot count. A big lesson here, guys. Ready? I'm not snapping it, I'm aiming it, he's dead. So many times with the new players in my community that I play with, I see fluffing their shots. You know, they will lose 1,000 damage a game because they are firing their shots before they're aimed in. So there's a lot of people, especially in my community, that are already playing at blue level if they aim their shots. Because they're getting themselves into the right position to make them shots. They're even getting themselves in the right position and not taking shots. They're just missing shots. Now pause that there, check the map out. We've lost the right flank, we've lost Banana Road. We've got a waffle tractor E100 down the bottom here who can do us a lot of damage, but he's not looking this way. Again, made my shot count. I did not fluff that shot, I did not snap it, I aimed it in and took my time. Paused the deflection there. And had to make a bit of a snapshot because he was moving away, but what I was pleased with there is my angle. I let him see enough of my tank to take a shot, but not enough that he could deflect, cause a penetration, and that's what you're looking to do. Now I'm looking at the map now thinking I'm not too fussed about that E100. I want to go and help cap, because if they take out the Jagdpanzer E100 and the waffle tractor by the base, they're going to cap us, and I don't want that to happen. There's 3 of them there. There's a VK4502, there's a Mouse, and there's a Jagdpanther E100. So I need to be able to start thinking about what I'm going to do with them, because they're all heavily armoured tanks. Unfortunately, Smokey just gets obliterated by the Object 704 in the enemy base. When I watch make this count, make it count, make it count. I didn't snap it. I followed him along and I waited till there was a time where I could definitely make that damage hit. This was probably the biggest lesson in this match. Apart from the snifty little bit over the slope, playing with Smokey yesterday, playing with Boom and some of the others, I noticed a lot of the guys now are moving away from auto-aim. Now remember, auto-aim is almost useless at these tiers if you're not firing gold. Okay, so when you start coming through my tutorials, you're a beginner player, you're making use of auto-aim, and you're moving up to the bigger tiers, you're starting to move away from auto-aim and aim your shots. Okay, but what I'm seeing is people, they're moving away from auto-aim, but they're still panicking a bit and still snapping their shots, missing shots, and because of that, missing damage and getting killed. So if you're a beginner player, start to think about this, but if you've been going through my tutorials, you've been moving up the tiers and now you're developing to higher tiers, start thinking about this, especially if you're playing the Russian tanks. You know, a lot of them you do need to aim in. Yeah, you get your crazy Russian accuracies, drink to Stalin shots like you do in any tank, but you do need to aim in them shots and make them count, and aim in at weak spots. Don't just be aiming in anywhere. Aiming at points you know where you're going to penetrate. If that takes you an extra 2 seconds, it's worth doing, rather than just firing at somewhere that you miss or you're not going to penetrate and you have to wait another 10 seconds for the reload, then you have to wait another 2 seconds, 3 seconds to make the shot. Okay, so that's what you need to do, aim your shots. I waited till he disappeared. Now I disappeared for him. He's going to be thinking I'm going to side scrape out of there, but really I'm going for the Jagdpanzer E100. There's no point me taking that VK on. He outmatches me for armour, he's going to pen me, and it would have just been a nightmare. Used my tank brake then, which is the space bar, to get the Jagdpanzer to miss. Shot his lower plate, not enough pen. So now it's a race for this flank. And I managed to get that. Had he managed to get the side of his tank against the building then, I would have been in real trouble. A couple of shots and I would have been dead. So just so you guys might not know, I stopped then, and I stopped really quick. How do you do that? It's quite simple. It's called the space bar. It's your tank brake. Now a lot of people don't realise that if you just take your finger off of W, your tank stops and you can fire. There are those tanks out there, I believe some of the British tanks are them ones, where the suspension is really bouncy. And you can be bouncing around on that suspension for 2 seconds before your reticle starts to come down. Then it takes another 2 seconds for your reticle to come down. That's a 4-second aiming time. You can reduce that tremendously by using your tank brake, which is the space bar. It's not taught in the tutorials, and unless you go through your controls and look and think, oh, what's that on the space bar? It's the tank brake. You probably haven't heard of it. So start thinking about that. Space bar to stop rather than just taking your finger off a W. Now he's coming my way, and again, if I'm separated here, I could be in trouble. However, the E100's got a whole clip of rounds. He could just kill that E100, so I don't want to be too far back. I want to get one shot in now. I was thinking that I might not make it, but the E100 had turned round to his armour on the front of them, and they're bouncing him, and I get another shot in. Finished the game on just over 4,500 damage. I think I might have got a blind shot in there, but yeah, 4,500 damage, and it was a real nice game. Hello everyone, so let's have a little quick recap. It's been a while since you've seen me in one of these videos really, do the recaps. First and foremost, minimap control. We was watching the minimap. Our ability to see the LTTB had seen that there was no heavies coming up that road early on, and enabled us to decide to go for an aggressive strategy. Okay, when we got there, we was able to see what tanks were there and perform a real perfect flanking manoeuvre, like a pincer movement. We've gone right round the flank and right up into their rears, and the guys from the top of the hill were able to shoot down. Those guys stuck on that hill were having to shoot uphill or downhill, either showing their rear and weak spots to me or showing their weak spots to the guys at the top of the hill. It really worked because the banana road was lightly defended and was pushed through heavily by them top tier heavies that, let's face it, we almost had no chance to take on head on. So watching the mini-map, deciding on an aggressive strategy and seeing that through. Okay, making shots count is the biggest message in this game. Aim that shot in. That extra 1.5 seconds will get you an extra an extra 1,000 hit points a game. And also you'll be surprised at how many shots you don't take, because you are actually doing damage and you are actually killing things. The more shots you miss against someone, the more he's going to think you're a noob, the more he's going to come for you. At least that is for me. If people are bouncing shots off me left, right and centre, I know they're just snapping their shots and they're not aiming for my weak spots, and I take advantage of that. So going on to that mid to late game, we see the waffle tractor E100, we make the shot there and we cause the deflection. Moving round there, looking at the minimap, seeing that the base needs us. There's so many games I play where people win a flank and they think, yeah, I've won the flank, now I'm going to go down and do some work down there. But they neglect to see what their team needs at any one given point. The truth of the matter is, I didn't go for the cap because I was with Smokey, who was a one shot, and an Object 140 who I didn't know was I wasn't aware of what sort of player he was. If I went down that road, that E100 could have had a full clip, literally poked out and made us all pay. The Object 704 was there, and again we could have just wasted a lot of time, a lot of hit points trying to rustle them out. The best thing to do, because they're relatively slow moving, is just ignore them. Just ignore them. Go and kill the tanks where there's another battle going on. Free up the other waffle tractor to E100s on our side. That will enable us to all come down then and deal with them, and it was a rather easy thing for us to do. So minimap awareness, making your shots count, and try out that strategy. If you do that strategy, if you're unaware of that little slope you can go over and it's a new thing for you and it works for you, by all means let me know. Yeah, send me the replay, let's show me how you've used that to good effect, whether you're on a light tank or a fast moving medium and you've gone down there and you've managed to get round and harass the back line, or you've just simply turned left and had a little engagement with those guys going up the hill. You've got to beware though, as you go down that slope, as your proxy spotting then, beware that if you're not got the right support, if your teammates haven't pushed aggressively enough with you, then they don't know what you're doing. You're just going to go over that little slope to your death. All them tanks are going to come down and kill you. You must have that element where they're getting pressure from the top as well as you. Sometimes it is just as good, if you're not in a platoon, just to turn right and forget firing up the hill and go into town. Because there was 3 of us, we was able to go there and stand off, but if it was just me on my own, the truth is the 57 would have killed me, the Tiger 2 would have come down, and the AT would have come down. So the best thing, if I was on my own, to do by far would have been straight over there, take a right, take another right, and gone and harass the banana road, the rear of the banana road. But that's all for this week. I hope you enjoy that. Tank Fest this weekend coming. Really excited about that. Just got a GoPro camera, so I'm looking to do some nice HD footage for you guys of the tanks and the other community contributors and the camping and all that lot. So that's a really, really good thing I'm looking forward to do. And yeah, hopefully now I've got a really good camera, I might be able to do some video blogs, let you a little bit more into my life and what I get up to. I'm quite an interesting guy, always doing something interesting outside of games, so possibly some of that on the horizon too. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if it makes you happy. It certainly makes me happy. And why not leave a positive comment? Thanks again. Bye bye for now.